Hey guys, me Dave. I thought I'd do a video, probably be up all night. I wanted to keep Max overnight until tomorrow evening, till 6 o'clock tomorrow. But I don't trust these guys at all. They're already starting to torture my feet, my legs, whatever. And they're starting to electrocute my chin. Yeah, that's really funny or really fun. They electrocute my chin. Um, I don't know if you guys can see that. You guys, you see that right there? You see? Do you see my head right here? That's directed energy weapon torture from 2015. See the side of my head? And right here, it's dented in. Can't really see that side. They took a laser all up here, chewed the hell out of my head. But see that? That's directed energy weapon torture to my head. Um, these people, these are different people, but all the people think they can do whatever they want to me, and they're just gonna walk away. Now they change guys a lot. I don't even know if these are the same guys over the past 2.5 years. I don't know. It's like 2 years and 5 months. May will be 3 years since I've been nonstop tortured. It's all medical stuff. Like I say, I've been going to the hospital every 2 to 4 months for the last year and a half, and probably 30 times to the doctor. Well, I mentioned my medical stuff last night and all this stuff. It's I'm smarter than that. Where I have decent common sense, I think, and some of the stuff doesn't make sense. It's almost humorous when you think about it. Um, it's almost like they're making fun of these guys. With my medical records, it's so dumb. A monkey wouldn't even believe my medical records. You know what I mean? So, like some of the stuff, I was a little upset about it last night when I checked my chart from the hospital. But then, just a little bit ago, I'm thinking, I've had MRIs and CAT scans of my head pretty much all to the bottom of my back. Now, it said in my medical records that I had a neck fracture. It's almost like they could be making fun of these people, or they could be putting stuff in my medical records because it's just plain old stupid. And they know I'm going to catch it. They know I'm going to catch on to it. So we know that I've never had a neck injury. I brought it up to my mom today because it was like they said I had a neck fracture in like 2000. Well, that's not true. Now, of course, the CAT scans and MRIs would show that that's not true. You know what I mean? So, it would show no injury, So they do things like that, and they do it on purpose. I don't know if it's for reactions or if they're making fun of these people, because this whole thing is stupid. This whole thing is so stupid that it's like, I don't know how the PTs and the OTs keep it a straight face because it's so dumb, you know? You know, they know you're being tortured. You know, it's to the point where it's so dumb that because I thought, oh, I'm gonna need a home health aide and blah blah blah. I guess I wouldn't give me a home health aide either because this is just retarded. I've been doing everything on myself. And Thursday, I haven't taken a shower in 2 months. I thought, well, I got to take a shower. And I did it on my own. They could have made me fall, and I would have been hurting. But I've been vacuuming on my own. I've been doing dishes on my own. I cook on my own. You know what I mean? So there's no point in even having somebody come unless somebody can take me to appointments. So it's getting to the point where this is just mental. It's like mentally ill people doing this to me, you know. So they're doing little things. They throw little things um in my medical stuff. Like I'm a chronic drinker. I have a history of chronic. But my liver's normal. I don't have any liver damage, and there's proof of that. You know what I mean? They contradict everything they say. Like you don't know if you should laugh about it because it's so dumb. A monkey wouldn't believe it. You know what I mean? So, um, you know, it's dumb, and it's. I guess you can't take it very seriously because anybody who knows me knows that I worked my whole life. I wasn't a big drinker. I actually went out with a veteran girl. She was a nurse in the I don't know, Navy or whatever, and she was drinking too much. And I asked her, let's keep the drinking to the weekends, instead of every night. She was drinking every night and stuff, So I've never been a big drinker until I got into this, and I was drinking a few drinks, 3 to 4 rum and cokes or whatever to help me sleep. But if you look at my medical records, oh my God, he's has a long history of drinking, and then they said, oh, we think he's not telling the truth, and he's, it's so stupid, like it's so dumb that they said, well, he hasn't drank in 2 months. Well, I was in the hospital for 3 weeks, or they didn't believe that I wasn't drinking in the time frame they said, but I was in the hospital in the nursing home during that time. But they kind of said, well, we don't believe that he wasn't drinking. Do you know what I mean? So it's little things like that they put in there, and they totally do it on purpose. Just because it's stupid. You know what I mean? Like this whole thing is mentally retarded. So it's these people want them to totally lie, and they're like, yeah, we'll lie, we'll put shit in there that makes absolutely no sense, and contradicts itself. So it's so stupid that it's just dumb. So we'll see if they send me to the hospital tonight. It's to the point where it's just retarded now. And I talked to my mom next door. There's a perp, and she actually had my mom's dog killed. There are some people that paid for that. And they tortured that poor dog all the way to the vet until she had a needle in her. They could have stopped and saved her life, and they didn't. They paid for that. And so they left a note on her door when she got home tonight, and she called me and stuff. They're saying that she neglects her dogs, and they bark, and they can bark in the house. Nobody's going to do anything about that, but they're trying to scare, they're so desperate. They don't know what they're doing. So they're pulling tricks from 10 years ago and they're doing the same thing, but, I don't know. So that's what's going on. Constant trouble. I really hope these people disappear soon. But it's to the point where it's stupid now, and I think they know that I'm gonna catch on to that and look at this stuff and be like, it doesn't even make sense. It's so dumb, So that's what's going on. I just thought I'd do a little video. Sitting here, I didn't even hardly eat anything. I just, it wasn't a very good day. Torturing the hell out of me all night for the last 3 nights. I'm sure it's gonna happen again tonight. Whether we go to the hospital, I don't know. This whole thing is just, it's getting so stupid, and I think everyone knows it. I think, when I was in the psych ward, I was in the fake psych ward, and I'm sure this was just an act, but they pretended like one of the guys had a problem with perping me. And the nurse said, well, you got to act like it's a practical joke. So they probably tell these people, like the doctors and maybe even the nurses, to look at it like that. And they probably really don't realize how bad I'm being tortured, But so they kind of, sometimes they tell me what's going on and stuff, but, so, they could be like, well, you got to look at it like a practical joke. You were playing a joke on this guy type of thing. But it's getting to the point where, I mean, it's still not good to go to the hospital and go through therapy and go through all this stuff when you don't need it. And these people there's just nothing there upstairs, and people are probably like, what the fuck, what the hell's going on, type of stuff. It's really dumb. I mean, if they want reactions, they used to show me beautiful women, fast cars, a little street theater here and there. Sometimes perps would be chasing me in my truck, and little stuff like that. They never went to this extreme. I mean, I was never planning on hopping in my truck and leaving the state or trying to leave the country, or all I want to do is go camping and take my dog to the park. That's all I did. And it's, they want to take that away from you, and stuff. It's just, it's so petty that I don't know. It's crazy. I hope something happens. Unfortunately, something's going to have to bad happen to me for something to change, because they're not stopping. They're not letting you get better. You're getting worse, So that's the story, you guys. Who knows? I'll probably be talking to you in the middle of the night, getting tortured to hell. I'll talk to you guys later.